households are randomly selected and partitioned into groups of 4. For those groups, the random variable x is the number of households with a printer. Determine whether a probability distribution is given. Now, if a probability distribution is given, then find its mean and standard deviation. If a probability distribution is not given, then identify the requirements that are not satisfied. So here's our table. We can look at our random variable x goes from 0 to 4, therefore it's numerical, and we can see what our probabilities look like, which are in between 0 and 1. Now, the requirements for every probability distribution are listed below. First, there is a numerical, not categorical, random variable x, and its number values are associated with corresponding probabilities. We can see here that this random variable x are numerical, and it does have a corresponding probability. Number 2, when we add the sum of the probabilities, it must equal 1, where x assumes all possible values. Now, the sum of all probabilities must be 1, but sums such as 0.999 and 1.001 are acceptable because they result from rounding errors. And then last is that the probabilities must be in between 0 and 1 inclusive. So for every individual value of the random variable x. And again, that is, each probability value must be between 0 and 1 inclusive. Now, we do know that according to the table that the random variable x is numerical because x takes on integer values from 0 to 4 inclusive. And the number values are associated with probabilities because each value of x has a corresponding value. Now we want to determine the sum of the probabilities. So if we determine the sum of the probabilities, we would see the following. We're going to add 0.131 plus 1.151 plus 0.35 plus 0.346 plus 0.127. When we add them together, we get 1. And we also know that each probability value is between 0 and 1 inclusive. Therefore, all the requirements are met. Thus, the table shows a probability distribution. So now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what is the mean and the standard deviation of this. So we're going to open this up in a StatCrunch. So we're going to open up this in the StatCrunch. And now in order to generate the mean and the standard deviation from these two, the probability distribution, we can use StatCrunch. So we're going to go to Stat, go to Calculators, and then over in Calculators, we're going to go all the way down to where it says Custom. And now the values in are going to be the first column, which is the numerical values of x, and the weights in are going to be the probability column, and then we're going to select Compute. And then down here, you're going to see the mean and the standard deviation. So let's go ahead and copy that and bring it to our work. So now we have our mean and our standard deviation. Now, according to the question, they want you to round the mean to 1 decimal place and the standard deviation to 1 decimal place. So for the first one, we want to find the mean. We're going to round up because this is the rounding digit and this is a testing digit. So that means we're going to round it up to 2.4. And the standard deviation needs to be rounded to 1 decimal place. So this is going to round this 9 up, which means now we got to rewrite that 0 as 1. So therefore, the standard deviation is going to be 1.0.